Do you want to know what really makes a woman unforgettable and completely irresistible to a masculine man? Well, let me tell you something right now. It's not about how independent she is. It's not about how stylish she dresses. It's not about how much money she earns. The real power, the real magnetism, comes from the quality of her character and how she connects with her femininity. When we talk about masculinity and femininity, I want you to understand this. I'm not talking about stereotypes. I'm talking about energy, about how people naturally express themselves. Masculine men are drawn to feminine women. Feminine men are drawn to masculine women. That's just how energy works. A masculine man wants to be complemented by a woman who is softer, more flowing, more receptive, because that balances him. He looks for traits that are nurturing, that can receive, that allow him to lead, to protect, to provide. Now, I know that some of you might feel uncomfortable with these words. Masculine and feminine, or maybe you feel like society has put too much pressure on women to be independent and strong. But here's the thing. When a woman learns how to embody her feminine energy in the right way, when she understands how to flow and balance energies in her life, her relationships, and her intimate connections, everything changes. Life becomes more fulfilling. You don't have to compromise your intelligence or strength. You just allow your energy to complement a man's, creating a natural flow. Let's start with something that may seem simple, but is incredibly powerful: softness. The first trait every woman must understand is the power of softness. Now, I know when you hear softness, your brain might immediately say, oh, that means weak. I can't be soft. I need to be strong. And yes, strength is important, but let me make something very clear. There is extraordinary strength in softness. The real power of softness is that it allows a man to step into his own strength. A man feels safe, supported, and even inspired when a woman is soft. Her softness invites his firmness. That's how balance works in life. That's how nature works. Think about it. Rivers flow gently, but they carve valleys over time. There is a quiet power in softness that doesn't need to dominate or control. Yet, our society, especially in the last decades, has taught women to harden themselves, to adopt masculine traits in order to survive. Feminism, independence, survival, these things encouraged women to protect themselves, to be strong, to take control, and that's necessary in some situations. But over time, many women became overly hardened, overly masculine, losing touch with the soft, nurturing energy inside. They became robotic, cold, and disconnected from that natural magnetism that is innate to femininity. I see it all the time. Women who have been pushed into survival mode, who have had to make every decision, solve every problem, organize everything, and carry the weight of the relationship or life on their own. It's exhausting, and it builds resentment toward men. They wonder, why isn't he leading? Why isn't he stepping up? But the truth is, when women try to do everything themselves, they cut off the natural balance. Masculine energy thrives in leadership, in taking initiative, in creating solutions. Feminine energy thrives in flow, in receptivity, in expressing softness and grace. When both energies are aligned properly, it's effortless. So the first step is opening your heart, healing past wounds, letting go of perfectionism, letting go of the idea that you always have to be in control. Realize that strength and softness are not opposites. They coexist. And in that coexistence, a man feels inspired to be his best. The second quality that makes a woman magnetic is receptivity. Are you open to receiving, not just gifts or compliments, but help, support, guidance, care, and love? Receptivity is the ability to let a man be a man, to allow him to step into his strength and provide, protect, and lead. Many women struggle with this. They feel guilty for asking for help. They don't want to be a burden. They've been conditioned to think that needing something is weakness. But here's the truth. When a woman can receive with grace, it doesn't make her weak. It makes her magnetic. A woman's ability to receive is deeply attractive because it allows a man to fully express his masculine nature. Think about it. When a man wants to provide, to protect, to care, it's because he senses that the woman in front of him is safe to do so. If a woman resists, if she pushes, if she tries to control everything, he can't fully step in. But when a woman allows herself to receive, it creates an energy that is alive, flowing, and magnetic. It invites him to give his best, not because she demanded it, but because she allowed him the space to be fully masculine. And this brings us to playfulness. A woman who is playful, who doesn't take life too seriously all the time, who laughs and has fun, who is spontaneous. This is incredibly magnetic. Playfulness softens tension. It softens the masculine rigidity that can sometimes be too direct or too serious. When a woman is playful, she invites a man to step back from the pressures of life and simply enjoy the moment. Playfulness is a feminine trait. It's light. It's freeing. And it draws men in because it creates joy, connection, and excitement in the relationship. Playfulness is not just about joking or being silly. It's about a way of being in the world. It's about energy. It's about creating a space where both people can thrive without the weight of constant problem, solving, or rigid expectations. The man feels energized, inspired, and more willing to engage because the environment feels alive, safe, and flowing. The next trait is confidence, but not in the way society tells women to be confident. I'm not talking about dominating or proving yourself. I'm talking about quiet confidence, the kind that comes from self-awareness, from knowing who you are, from embracing your femininity fully. When a woman is confident in her soft, receptive, playful nature, it radiates. She doesn't have to chase or compete. She doesn't have to prove her worth. She simply knows herself, and that certainty is magnetic to men. Another trait is emotional intelligence. The ability to understand, process, and express emotions in a healthy way. This doesn't mean being dramatic or overly reactive. It means being aware of your feelings, communicating them clearly, and being sensitive to the feelings of others. Emotional intelligence allows a woman to navigate relationships smoothly. It allows a man to feel understood and respected, which deepens intimacy and attraction. And then there's authenticity. A woman who is unapologetically herself, who doesn't try to be someone else to please a man, who expresses her true thoughts, feelings, desires, and boundaries. This is irresistible. Authenticity creates trust. It creates safety. A masculine man is drawn to a woman who is genuine because he knows that the connection is real, not just a performance. Generosity is also key. Not just material generosity, but generosity of spirit. Being generous with love, attention, compassion, understanding, and support. When a woman is generous in this way, it naturally draws a man to her. Generosity creates flow, and flow is the essence of feminine energy. It's giving without forcing, nurturing without controlling. And finally, there's the ability to inspire. A woman who inspires others, who uplifts, who radiates passion and purpose, who has a zest for life. This is magnetic. Inspiration doesn't come from trying to impress. It comes from living fully, from being connected to your own energy, from embracing life with curiosity and joy. When a woman lives this way, she naturally attracts a man who wants to match her energy, who wants to protect and support her, and who wants to grow alongside her. Her playfulness has this way of pulling me out of my usual headspace. It reminds me to be strong, yes, but also gentle. You see, her playfulness isn't just fun, it's an invitation. It's an invitation for me to show up as my full self, strong but soft at the same time. And here's the thing, a lot of women, when they step into this hyper masculine energy, they forget how to be playful. They forget how to enjoy themselves, to really feel joy and pleasure in the moment. Instead, they become rigid, closed off, almost robotic. And because they're stuck in this hyper masculine state, two things usually happen. Either they end up with men who are overly sensitive, which isn't what they truly desire, or they unconsciously emasculate the man they're with. Neither of these scenarios leads to the fulfillment they're searching for. When you release this constant seriousness, this rigidity, this sense that you always have to be right or in control, you allow yourself to soften. You allow yourself to feel, to play, to open your heart to love and the possibility of connection. When you do this, it creates an energy that's magnetic. A man notices. He sees it. He senses that there's something alive and vibrant here, something he wants to be a part of. And if what I'm saying right now is hitting home for you, really take a moment to pause and reflect on it. Think about where you might be holding back your joy, your playfulness, your sense of ease. Now, let's talk about emotional presence. Life moves fast. Responsibilities pile up, and it's easy for both men and women to lose that emotional awareness. I'm guilty of this myself at times, full transparency here. But emotional presence is crucial. When a woman only focuses on tasks, schedules, achievements, and responsibilities, the relationship can start to feel transactional, like a business partnership. And while practical things are necessary, especially if you have children or obligations, it's not the whole picture. Emotional presence is about noticing your feelings and expressing them in a grounded, clear way. When a woman can say, I'm feeling exhausted, I need some rest, or I really want to be held right now, she's showing emotional awareness. She's letting herself feel her emotions without getting lost in them, without over-explaining, without expecting a man to solve everything. This creates a calm, nourishing energy that a masculine man can respond to. He knows clearly what she needs, and he can meet her there. On the flip side, when a woman either over-explains every little feeling, goes cold, or responds with attitude and sarcasm, it creates confusion and tension. That's not attractive. It doesn't foster connection. Emotional presence done well gives clarity and depth to the relationship. Then comes sensuality. A woman's sensuality, especially with her partner, is incredibly magnetic. It's not about being openly sexual with the world. It's about connection, intimacy, and feeling safe with the man you love. When a woman is in touch with her sensuality, with her pleasure, she radiates energy that a masculine man notices immediately. He feels drawn to it, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically. Sensuality without shame is incredibly powerful. When a woman carries guilt, fear, or trauma in her body, it blocks her energy. It prevents her from opening up fully, and a man can sense that tension. But when she's confident, grounded in her self-worth, and connected to her heart and body, it creates a magnetic pull. It's a kind of feminine allure that isn't about manipulation. It's about authenticity, presence, and confidence. This brings us to vulnerability, which is deeply intertwined with all of these qualities. Being vulnerable doesn't mean being weak. It means opening your heart, expressing your needs, and being willing to take emotional risks. A woman who is vulnerable shows a man that she trusts him, that she's willing to ask for help when needed, and that she's open to receiving love and care. Vulnerability also goes hand in hand with healthy boundaries. Saying no, expressing discomfort, or refusing what doesn't feel right is part of being authentically vulnerable. A woman can be soft, open, and emotionally present while still having strong boundaries. The challenge is that many women are raised in ways that discourage vulnerability. They're taught to appear perfect, to always have the right answer, to never need anyone. They learn to harden themselves to cope with criticism, judgment, or neglect. This conditioning often leads women into adulthood feeling disconnected from their feminine energy. They may struggle to feel fully loved, supported, or cherished in romantic relationships. And when that connection is missing, they feel like a flower without sunlight, a core part of themselves left unfulfilled. Feminine energy and masculine energy complement each other, and when one is missing or blocked, it disrupts the natural flow of intimacy, love, and support in a relationship. Like a river flowing gently over the riverbank, life flows through a woman when she is in her feminine energy. The riverbank, that steady edge that holds the water, represents the masculine. It gives structure, stability, a container for the flow. And when a woman doesn't have that sense of feminine flow in her life, she can become all riverbank. She becomes rigid, hardened, like gravel, dirt, and sand. She becomes dull, boring, stuck in a pattern that never moves. And she doesn't want to feel like this. Most women, for much of their lives, have been stuck in this role without even realizing it. How do I know this? Because I've spent over 10 years watching thousands of women go through this transformation. I've seen women reconnect to their feminine, open their hearts, embrace pleasure, and step fully into that juicy, radiant space that is theirs by birthright. And when they do, something remarkable happens. Their entire being shifts. Their well-being improves. Hormones balance. Skin becomes more radiant. Gut issues fade. Back pain dissolves. All of this is because for so long, they were trapped in a rigid masculine shell. When they break free, they experience a flow of life they never thought possible. But it's not always easy. The process of opening, of reconnecting to the feminine is messy. It's painful. The old patterns, the old wounds, they crumble. And in the beginning, it can feel overwhelming. There's sadness, frustration, old grief, and a heaviness that has been stored for years. The beauty of this work is that when you push through that mess, when you allow yourself to feel, to grieve, to release, you emerge on the other side. You feel alive in a way you never did before. You feel pleasure in your body that you didn't even know existed. You feel flow in your life. You feel energy moving through you. But you have to be patient with yourself. This is the key. Patience. Many women, and men too, want quick fixes. They want the resolution right now. They want the pain gone in a second. They want the clarity and the answers immediately. But life doesn't work like that. Healing is not linear. It's messy. It moves in waves. Some days are great. Some days are hard. Some days you feel like you're moving backward. Some days you feel like everything is finally making sense. The important thing is to be gentle with yourself, to honor the process, and to let it unfold at its own pace. There is no rush, no deadline, no timer. Let's talk about something equally important: intuition. A woman's intuition is a gift, a power that is deeply attractive. A feminine woman who listens to her inner voice, who trusts her instincts, brings wisdom and perspective into the world that is often hard for men to sense on their own. Men are logical, analytical. They think in patterns, in cause and effect, in steps. But intuition operates differently. It is subtle, quiet, and profound. It senses shifts, energy, emotions, and truth in ways that cannot be explained with reason alone. When a woman listens to her intuition and honors it, she becomes magnetic. She sees the world with clarity that feels like magic. And men notice this. They are drawn to it. They respect it. They feel that a woman's intuition is a gift, something to be cherished, something that strengthens the connection between them. Intuition is not about guessing or overthinking. It is about feeling. It is about being present in your body, in your heart, and trusting what you know without question. And the more a woman practices this, the stronger it becomes. Like a muscle, intuition grows.
It becomes sharper, clearer, and more reliable. And this is incredibly attractive. Men naturally respect a woman who can sense, who can read situations with clarity, and who can bring wisdom without needing to justify herself all the time. Then there is nurturing energy. And let me be clear here. Nurturing is not the same as mothering. Mothering a man is unattractive. Telling him to wear a jacket because it's cold, reminding him to drive carefully, scheduling his appointments, these things push him away. They create distance. They take away intimacy. They put him in a childlike role which does not foster connection or desire. Nurturing, on the other hand, is intimate. It is playful. It is sensual. It is about giving care, attention, and love in ways that connect you deeply to a man. It is about making him feel seen, valued, and desired. Nurturing can be small things. A warm meal, a playful dance, a kiss, a touch, but it is always done from a place of love and intimacy. Timing matters too. A woman's nurturing energy is most powerful when it is given at the right time. Too early in a relationship, too soon, and it can feel misplaced. A woman can give so much love, care, and attention that the man is overwhelmed or even loses respect. But when nurtured naturally, with a rhythm that fits the relationship, it is profoundly attractive. A man craves this energy because it heals him, it nourishes him, and it connects him to the woman in a way that nothing else can. It is not motherly, it is alive, intimate, and magnetic. Finally, confidence in your femininity. This is perhaps the most magnetic quality a woman can possess. Confidence is not arrogance or ego. It is self-awareness. It is knowing your worth. It is standing in your power without fear. A confident woman is unapologetic about who she is. She knows what she wants. She communicates her needs. She sets healthy boundaries. She trusts herself. This type of confidence radiates and draws people in. Men see it as strength, stability, and partnership. Fear, doubt, and insecurity are natural. They come and go for everyone. But consistent insecurity pushes people away. It signals to a man that there is work to be done, that there is emotional instability, that the relationship may be more challenging than it needs to be. Confidence, on the other hand, signals reliability, strength, and alignment. A confident woman can navigate challenges without losing herself. She can love without losing her boundaries. She can communicate without fear. This is the essence of femininity. This is power. When a woman connects with her feminine flow, listens to her intuition, nurtures in intimacy, and holds confidence in herself, the transformation is profound. It affects not only relationships, but all areas of life. Health, energy, joy, and fulfillment. The ripple effect is enormous. Men are drawn naturally to this energy, not because they are controlled by it, but because it creates a connection, a depth, and a sense of alignment that is rare in the world. The feminine is not passive, it is alive. It is dynamic. It is powerful. It invites connection, pleasure, and partnership. And it requires courage to step into it. It requires vulnerability. It requires patience, gentleness, and consistency. But the reward is beyond measure. Life becomes richer. Relationships become deeper. Pleasure becomes natural. The body becomes a source of joy rather than a vessel of stress. Every woman has this capacity. Every woman can access this flow. And it starts with awareness. Awareness of your body, your emotions, your intuition, and your desires. Awareness of your strength and your softness. Awareness of your needs and your boundaries. Awareness of your value and your presence. And as you cultivate this awareness, you begin to embody it. You move through the world in a way that is magnetic, alive, and deeply connected to yourself.